Welcome back to The Experience. Today my guest is Coty Thunder. Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Coty is a professional mixed martial arts fighter.
That's right.
I got it right. What's that like, dude?
That's
different. You're the first, by the way, professional fighter on my show.
Oh wow, man.
So thank you for coming on.
Hell yeah. It's a pleasure to be here. Really is. It's different, It's a lot more discipline, a lot less social, but I love it, man. Like I live for it. It's definitely saved my life.
You were saying that outside earlier. What made you want to start fighting? What made you want to do that as a profession?
Basically I kind of grew up kind of troubled, family didn't get along too well. They toxic household. I got picked on a lot, and I watched Dragon Ball Z a lot, so I knew that had something to do with it. Right. And I'm pretty sure my dad had me on Rocky when I was real young, and I remember one day I was sick, and he had on Rocky 4, and he was watching me when I wasn't in school, and I watched him watch Rocky fight Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
And I saw that shit, and I was like, I want to do that.
Dude, they were all jacked up, huh?
Yeah, man, just full of roids and curls.
Yeah. And I think I've seen people use those movies as references to train. Like when you train, do you go back and watch those, or are you just watching?
Oh yeah, man. I have Summertime Madness is in my playlist from Rocky 1. They have I use a lot of the music from the soundtracks and stuff. No Easy Way Out from Rocky 4.
Sure. Eye of the Tiger.
Right, Eye of the Tiger, 100%, dude.
Yeah,
everybody has that one.
Yeah.
You have that one in your playlist if you haven't even seen Rocky.
One of the when I wrestled in high school, this guy Melvin, who became a professional MMA guy.
Yeah, Melvin Galore. Yeah.
He literally played that song. I think I met him in 9th grade in my junior year. I think he was a senior. He won state, and dude, he used that song to just fucking push him all the way. And then
man.
Went into the UFC. I don't know if it was a year or two after he graduated. So he definitely proved that if you're persistent, you can accomplish whatever.
Oh yeah, man.
Whatever you want.
A strong will can overcome most obstacles.
Yeah.
Man. You wrestled with Melvin?
So he went to Bonneville,
yeah.
And at the time I was at John Ehret High School.
Word.
And then Patriots, shout out. And then I switched to Fisher High School and wrestled for another year.
Oh, nice.
But I originally started over there.
Nice.
And I watched him just go up, dude.
Yeah.
He was kind of the underdog, and I think he liked that, because he was hungry.
Right.
And I'm watching him do that all the time. I was like, dude, this kid's not giving up.
Right, you'd hear stories about him. He wasn't the most technically sound on the mats, but he was just such an animal, such an athlete.
Animal, and he just fucking practiced a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
Warren Donnelly was his coach. That was my first grappling coach when I started training MMA.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just it just proves that if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish it. I mean, he worked his ass off.
Right.
I mean, I was happy for him when he went in because it's dude. That dude's on TV fighting.
Right, man. I was literally about to comment on that. If you set your mind to it, you could do anything if you work your ass off.
Yeah, I mean.
That's what matters.
I mean, for you, how long have you actually been fighting?
Going on 11 years now. Yeah.
Okay. How old were you when you started? Started taking it serious. Hey, I'm going to start trying to become a professional fighter.
19.
19, yeah. Most people go to college. Most people get a regular job. You're I want to fight.
Yeah, kind of I felt like I started late. My grandparents, they hated me for wanting to pursue it. They still give me shit about it.
What did they want you to do?
I used to work offshore.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to do that because it was good money, but it's
guaranteed money, right?
Right. Guaranteed, but at one point, are you actually enjoying your life? Are you doing the things that you grew up wanting to do?
Well, is it fulfilling you?
Right.
Most people work regular jobs that they fucking hate.
Right.
And because, I was listening to this podcast this morning. He's you could either go with the pack. Or go
the road not taken.
The road not taken, correct.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I was like, man, a lot of people do that. And it's kind of I feel sorry for them. I mean, obviously doing what you're doing, doing what I'm doing. Like, we're both entrepreneurs, right? And
100%.
like, you know, you're an artist. This is your craft. You're trying to become the best you could be. But that shit's like, it's lonely, like you said, and it's not everybody's doing it. They're probably, you know, thinking you're crazy.
Right.
Which is okay.
Right. You have to have that little, Conor McGregor said it. He's like, everybody, I believe, to be truly successful at what you love to do, you have to be a little, you know, a little off, a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
A little bit on the edge of madness.
I mean, I guess he was right, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you like look up to guys like that? I know we were talking boxing is your first passion, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was pretty much my base.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what got you into like the mixed martial arts?
Something I always saw myself doing. Like when I wrestled in high school, I remember my coach saw me fighting Mike Savage. Shout out Mike Savage.
Shout out.
Yeah, he saw me fighting at Jefferson Playground after school one day, and he's like, "You want to actually do something instead of doing this dumb shit?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. What you got?" He's like, "Come to wrestling practice tomorrow." And yeah, I went there, kicked my ass.
That was before you wrestled.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know how it is the first day on the mat. Like,
Always.
you get tore up.
Yeah. I got my ass whooped for 3 years before I started actually winning real matches.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like the world of Dark Souls. How do you win? Get good.
Yeah,
like,
dude, I hated every day of practice because I felt like I sucked and it was just hard. But after practice, you're like, oh, I feel like $1,000,000. And, but at the end of each year, you're like a machine.
Right.
It was like the best feeling. I don't think I've ever really felt that feeling since high school.
Right.
You know, and
I definitely remember after just state, you're just a whole different person.
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
like you're in shape beyond all the other high schoolers around you. You know,
wrestling is like 10% of the population, probably, dude.
Right.
I mean, realistically.
Right. That's something that I definitely would push like any parent to get their kids into. Wrestling's
100%.
Right. Wrestling's the one that builds kids.
Yeah, it definitely. Coach Dean Tessitore, shout out. He was like my first grade through sixth grade coach at elementary. And so he had been trying to get me to wrestle since I was that little. And, you know, I was like a little fat kid, got picked on, and I was always embarrassed at how I looked. And I was like, I'm not wearing that shit. And when I got to ninth grade and realized he was like the wrestling coach, dude, I could have probably been a 4-time state champion if I'd have started that young. But you don't know.
Right.
You know?
You only think about it after the fact. You're like, damn.
Right. But it taught me how to be humble, humility. It built character. I mean, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Right.
Do you feel like your wrestling background, do you feel like that's helped you prepare to become like a fighter?
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, you got the wrestling mentality.
When you start, definitely, I remember when I started wrestling, I would get scared, terrified to be like, even at practice, and they'd be like, all right, go live, you're going against this dude, and like, you know your boy won state last year.
Yeah, dude. First dude I ever wrestled won state.
Yeah, and like, they just tear you up, or they put you against somebody in a different weight class, way bigger than you, and like, you just eat shit, you know?
Well, like, when I was 145 my ninth grade year. I went up against like a 2-time state champion. Ankle picked me, pinned me in like 10 seconds. Yeah. He looked like a fucking bodybuilder. And I'm over there like still kind of fat, skinny fat.
Right.
Had no muscle.
Right.
And I'm like, this dude literally is going to kill me. But that ankle pick turned into like my signature shit for like all 4 years.
Right.
Like that's how I got people.
Right.
And like,
it's funny how it goes. Like you see a move that you get caught when you're like, I'm gonna pick that weapon up.
Yeah. Well, because it got you, right?
Right.
And even though you don't know shit, it maybe surprised you out of all the other moves that have been done on you. And that's the one that got me.
Right.
Do you have like a signature, like in fighting nowadays? I know you see guys like do crazy shit. Like, do you have like signature stuff, or is it like you try to be well rounded at everything? Like, what's your go to? Like, what are you versed at the most?
I'm known for being a pretty hard hitter and a brawler.
Nice.
I try to be more of a technical brawler now. You know,
right.
I'm pretty good with my hands. I think I have a real good left hook. And as far as fancy stuff, I got a little Superman punch that I throw when I feel like throwing it. But like, you know, I kind of keep that one hidden.
That video you have posted on Instagram when you knocked that guy out, was that left?
Yeah, that was a left hook.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed. I'm kind of a little extra ambidextrous. Okay. I could do certain things with my left.
Ask you.
Yeah. So I could fight southpaw a little bit, and like better than what you would expect, at least.
Gotcha. Gotcha. When you like when you're like training, what's like your daily routine? Or is it that just depend on, like, I know we spoke before, but like for people that don't know, like when you go to training camp, it's way different than like your normal day to day right now, right?
Yeah, normal day to day, you're kind of like, you're working out and stuff. With training camp, you have specifics that you're working on like every single day.
Correct.
And like, if you're serious about what you're doing, like you should take notes after practice. Like if I go to jiu-jitsu class, I would always, when I'm really heavy in it, I would always try to work on like what I got caught with, what I set up,
right,
and you know how I felt in certain positions, and from that I could diagnose what I need to work on from just that. Or like striking, I'd have, say if we're sparring a certain day, I'm working on a certain technique, like I'm gonna land a right hand, and I'll just set that up. Like I'll use other things in my tool belt, but
your goal is to,
my goal is to connect with the right hand. Like set something up. I want to set it up a certain spot. If I'm connecting to the head, it's connecting to the body. Or say if I'm trying to set up a certain takedown or entry to a takedown off of combinations, just being able to have like a certain plan. Because what is a dream? What's the difference between a dream and a goal? Said a dream is just something that you want to do. A goal is something that you plan to do.
Set out to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So you set it up. Like, what do I need to work on to do this? If I'm in camp and I have an opponent that does a certain thing or he's good at a certain style, like he's a wrestler, I'm going to avoid trying to go to the ground with him.
Right.
You know, like I'm going to try to keep the fight standing, stay on my feet.
Would you say that you're as good at wrestling as you were back in high school, or have you like, you know, because you know, like you got fighters that have never wrestled, and you know they're going against somebody that's like 4-time, you know, state champ. It's like
it's a problem.
Yeah.
And, I think my wrestling's gotten a lot better since then. I use it a lot. I've been using it a lot lately, mixing it with my boxing, just because they for me to go hand in hand. And a lot of guys like the dude that's fighting Conor McGregor coming up, Michael Chandler. He's a fighter that knows how to mix his boxing with his wrestling. Okay. To like say set his hands up to set up takedowns. And
right.
He does it really well.
Right. So. And how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
On and off for like 10 years. I'm probably like I got my blue belt a couple years ago, and yeah, I'm probably like the longest reigning white to blue belt there ever was.
well, dude, that's like when we were talking. I finally committed to it in January, and because I've been wanting to do it. You know, I hear Joe Rogan talk about it. It's like life changing.
It is, man.
And I know wrestling changed my life forever. Like I wish I went back to the school a few times to try to like coach with the kids, and I just thought I was out of shape to do it. And when I started, I was like, dude, I'm actually like in better shape now, you know, than I wasn't then, because I've continued with like working out, bodybuilding, all that shit. But dude, I was hooked. I was going like 6 days a week.
Yeah, man.
And you know, one of my buddies got injured. He's been doing it for 9 years. You know, freak accident. He tore his ACL, and you know he's in recovery right now. And I was like, well, dude, if you get hurt, you cut hair for a living. Like you're not gonna be able to. Right. So I kind of backed off because I figured I was going too hard. But my goal is to like eventually become a blue belt. Like I guess I want to like achieve all of them. Like it gives me like a purpose.
Yeah, man. The goal isn't to chase the belt. It's just to chase the knowledge. And you know, it's one of those things that you're gonna have good days where you go in there and you do great, and then you're gonna have literally the day after you're gonna go in there and get murked by everybody. And it's a challenge, man. I remember right before I got my blue belt, I was going to a point where I was going like twice a day. Yeah. Like 4 days a week, just like getting as much of it in.
Hardcore, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I was using it to basically, it was like my outlet when I first started becoming sober. It was like therapeutic, you know, like jiu-jitsu is one of those things that you can't go to practice with shit on your mind. Nah. Because it's going to get choked out of you real quick. Right. Like,
I think that's part that helps you forget a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that matters in the moment, because like you're not thinking about the stresses of your everyday life. You're thinking about like, all right, he's trying to choke me. What is he doing? All right, he's got seatbelt, so grab his hand. Right. Fight the arm trying to grab my neck. You know, like just it clears your head up from the fog of everyday life, and like it gives you something that you could constructively work on and like achieve like a sense of like accomplishment at the end of it, you know?
Correct. No, I mean, you're literally trying to prevent somebody from like putting you to sleep.
Right.
And
murder yoga.
Yeah, murder yoga. And everything else kind of just fucking goes away because you're like, I need to prevent this. And I think from doing all those things, it kind of helped me get through the stuff I've been going through lately. And I'm like, man, you know, maybe if I had a couple years of practice, I could like compete in jiu-jitsu. Because, you know, I got buddies that are doing it, man. They were like they were never an athlete. They didn't do shit in high school, and they're competing. And I'm like, dude,
yeah, man.
Wow. But it's like because they want it that bad. Right. They're like, hey, man, I'm like, this is my thing.
Just go out there and test what you know, man. What's the worst thing could happen? If you get caught in a bad spot, all you got to do is just tap.
Yeah, and and it's very much like a brotherhood. I love the camaraderie. It's definitely. I wish I would have started 10 years ago too, because you know I'm 37 now. But I definitely feel like if I continue on the path that I'm on, I've been having to map out like a little plan, because like, you know, I have to balance, right? I can't do everything all the time. I mean, I would if I could. But, you know, some people say 2 days a week, your first couple months is perfect. Right. I feel like I need to look at it every day or I'm going to forget. That's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you go 2 days a week, take notes on what you learn, you know, and, like, look that shit up online. Yeah. Like, that's what I would do. I would YouTube the same positions online, and then, like, certain things I could work on from there, or, like, there's a certain sweep from that position that I could pick up and just, you know, play with it.
Yeah, because I definitely have the wrestler mentality of not wanting to go to my back. But in jiu-jitsu, it's like, that's where you go. Right. And I go to my hands, and I just get choked out. I'm like, God damn. Right. But I still have, like, that, you know, don't give up mentality of a wrestler, to where, like, I think that's pretty much what's been holding me on. You know, I can pretty much hang with everybody, but I pretty much get tapped out a few times. Sometimes, you know, it just depends. Yeah.
It takes you being a nail a little bit longer before you become the hammer.
It definitely fucking puts you in incredible shape, man. I mean, dude, I couldn't believe like some of the results I was getting from like going. Right. And then my cardio was getting crazy. Right. And I think the mentality of like being able to hurt somebody gives you like a different mentality. Right. Which is like, I could fuck that person up.
Right. You're like, but I'm a chill.
Yeah. Is that how you kind of feel like as a professional fighter? Like you know, like obviously you don't have an ego. You're more humble, which, you know, I love about you. Is that something that you've always had, or did you know, were you like real crazy? Like, I mean,
I used to be pretty crazy. Yeah. At one point, and I still do have a bit of a temper, but I try to like I have ways I could work on it now, you know.
Yeah,
but,
for sure, man.
Like everybody works on it, but yeah, I never really said I had an ego. I'm not much of a talker. Yeah. I hate talking shit because, for one, when I get mad, I stutter. So like, and I end up tripping over my own words. Right. So yeah, like, man.
If I fucking could, if I knew what to say right now.
Right. Yeah, but and plus not only that, I don't want to look like an asshole if I go out there and get starched, you know? Yeah. You don't want to be the guy that talks shit and gets beat up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I mean, one thing that wrestling taught me and jiu-jitsu is never underestimate your opponent or anyone. Absolutely. Because you just don't know, man. That person might not look like they could do shit.
Right, but he's standing across from you, so you got to give him that respect.
For sure. And now, you know, I know McGregor does a lot of the talking, and we were talking earlier. It's like, but he didn't care because he was just coming after you anyway. Right. Like he was like, I mean, I guess it was some strategy, right? But just at the same
I'm pretty sure he likes to get in dude's head. Like Nick and Nate Diaz are both like, they do the same thing. They'll talk shit to you and slap you in the middle of fights.
Dude, yeah.
And still talk to you, be like, yeah, that's right, you got slapped, bitch. And like,
dude,
you know.
And I guess it fucks with your mentality.
Oh yeah, they're trying to draw you off. Yeah, they're trying to throw you off and basically make you show your hand. Like draw out all your attacks. And then once you blow your wad, then they're gonna do their work.
Dude. So you have your first pro fight coming up soon in September, right?
Yeah, September 8th.
What's that like for you? Like, how long are you gonna? We talked about camp. Like, what's all that like? Like, when do you start that? And what's like a day in the life of camp?
I've kind of started it about like 2 weeks ago. Okay. Basically, get up early, run in the morning. I run like 3 miles in the morning. try to do some strength conditioning at my house. I have a bunch of weights, free weights.
Yeah.
I have some mats and stuff
Right.
at the house, and do stuff there. I try to meet up with the guys that I train with at the gym, either right around 4 or at 6 o'clock, either whenever I could get them lined up in there. And normally we'll stay in there from that time till about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and work on everything, and then go home, go to sleep, do it again.
Do you go to, is it multiple places that you go for camp? Like, because, we talked a while back, it's like.
Yeah, so there's strength conditioning places that we could go to. I used to go to Clockwork Performance. It's the best spot.
Shout out.
Yeah, man, it's the best gym down here, and the best gym in the state for strength conditioning by far. Chris Lockhart, he's certified in multiple different strength conditioning programs, central nervous system training. He's trained under Phil DeRue.
Okay.
And yeah, man, he got me right when I won the belt. And
Nice.
That's the spot you go to for camp for strength conditioning. For recovery, I normally hit Oshner Elmwood.
Yes.
Do the cold dip, the
cold
sauna. Yeah.
That's what I was asking you, if like the ice baths and all that,
Yeah.
like what does it do for like a fighter versus, football player, bodybuilder?
It does the same thing for both, I think, at least.
Yeah.
Breaks down lactic acid buildup,
Yeah, because you're just trying to stay healthy and feel good every day. Like,
Right.
you don't want to have injuries, joint pain.
Right, and getting punched and kicked all the time, you get banged up quick, so you want to heal that up as quick as possible.
For sure, dude. Do you always, like, I asked my buddy Anthony Johnson, do you ever feel 100%? And, he's a professional football player. He said his first day, I think it was either college or high school, maybe when he started playing football, he was like, that was the first day I ever felt 100%. So I guess as an athlete, or you have like injuries, but you're still going at it, right? Like you're still,
yeah, man.
you're nursing shit all the time, but you just got no choice, right?
Oh, yeah. I think as a fighter, you kind of go in a game, or you should at least knowing that, you're going to have aches and pains and stuff throughout this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And, you just try to, like, pre and rehab all of that stuff as much as you can, man, and, like, keep your nose on a grindstone and keep working,
Right.
If it's something that needs, like, serious, like, immediate attention, don't be a fool.
Yeah.
Go get your shit checked. But, if it's something minor, you know how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Epsom salt, wrap it up.
Those are awesome. Epsom salt
Oh,
baths.
yeah, man. Magic.
Dude, I had to do that almost like the first couple days when I started jiu-jitsu because I was so fucking sore. I was
yeah,
like,
man.
Shit.
Plus, it helps you sleep like a baby.
Yeah, it definitely does what it's supposed to do, and it's cheap, dude. It's like one of the cheapest remedies you could use.
Yeah.
I think you fucking pay more for a couple bags of ice,
Yeah.
unless you do the cold dip. I have been experimenting with the ice. So
Yeah, man.
I've been doing a lot of sauna, and I know that helps, heart rate, things like that, heart health.
Yeah, for sure.
And this fight in September, is it boxing? Is it MMA? What is it?
So this one's going to be a boxing match. My buddy Devin McGovern, he's taking over his grandpa's promotion, Brawling in Nolans.
Nice.
And
shout out.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good night. And they got me fighting Jacob Small, good fighter from Mid City MMA. He trains at Kingfish Boxing, Axel Murillo. He was my former boxing coach when I first started training. Great coach.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
You fighting your coach?
Against his guy.
Oh, against his guy, not
yeah,
the
man.
actual coach. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be
shit.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a good fight. Like me and him, like we know each other. We're cool with each other.
Well,
like,
yeah, man. Y'all both have the similar mutual respect.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's is it a lot? Is it like that a lot in that world, or is it?
Yeah. I mean, I only had one guy that I had some serious beef with, and I never even ended up fighting him. He talked a bunch of shit, and I don't know what happened. He just stopped, and I think he moved back to New York or something. But most of the guys that I go against, they're pretty cool.
Nice. Well, that's good, man. I mean, because you're already. It's like you're trying to get in there and whip somebody's ass. It's like
right. It's like, dude, we'll save it for that night, man. Like,
well, yeah. At the end of the day, you're a professional. You got to conduct yourself like that.
Absolutely.
And I know everybody has their way of doing shit, right?
Right.
McGregor gets in people's heads. Floyd Mayweather's got it. Everybody's got their thing.
Right.
So you win this fight. What's next?
Uh, MMA fight.
Nice. And is it like, do you have to win this to like get asked to do an MMA fight, or how does that stuff work? No.
Nah, I could jump into another one. Just
Okay.
me choosing which ones I want to do, which
Right.
ones I feel ready for. You know.
Right. But like your ultimate goal is to be MMA, or is it to be professional boxing? Like what's the goal? I know we talked before, but
I swing towards MMA just because it's more of a challenge, and yeah, man, I love it. Like I have a boxing background, but I'm pretty good at Muay Thai and kickboxing as well.
right.
Like I love it all. I love wrestling. I love jiu-jitsu. You know, like it's one of those things that like,
You like doing all of it.
oh yeah, and plus mixed martial arts, it's like a Rubik's cube. It's a game of if.
Yeah.
You know. Like if he does this, I got to do this. If he has this, I got to do this. You know, like it's there's a lot more facets to worry about with
Right.
MMA. With boxing, you have things to worry about, but MMA is more of a challenge by far. You know,
A lot more shit can go wrong in MMA.
absolutely, and you don't want to be stuck on the ground with some dude on top of you,
Yeah.
just raining hell down on you.
No, dude. Is there any fighters out there that like they go from like boxing to MMA, like or like crushing it at both, or like do you?
Oh yeah, man. There's a dude down here that trains out of NOLA MMA, Duke Sensley. He's I think he's had a boxing match before, but he does MMA. He does professional MMA, and he also competes in BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting
Yeah,
Championship.
for sure.
I'm like, yeah, man. He fought recently actually at the Pontchartrain Center for BKFC, and he won. He did
Nice.
good.
Dude, that's crazy, dude. So he's just kind of like jumping in and out of all the shit.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
You said you when you got sober, how long ago was that?
I haven't had a drink. I checked my phone earlier in 144 days, going on 5 months and 6
Congratulations.
days. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
What brought about that, man?
I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Tired of my own shit, I guess. Tired of destroying my life, relapsing, you know, going through all the aches and pain, putting all my loved ones through it, you know. Try to do like we were talking about earlier with Joe Rogan said, be the hero of your own story
Correct.
for a change.
Yeah, it's that's what I learned when I got sober. Was like I was just sick and tired of looking at that fucking dude in the mirror.
Right, 100%.
I'm fucking tired of you, bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm tired of you. And it's not easy, dude. But like you know, you're a fighter, and so you're doing it, and that's probably step one.
Yeah, man.
Amongst many steps that you go through.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, dude. You probably feel 100 times better. I know we were talking about it earlier, like from like were you drinking and like still like doing all your stuff, like practicing and fighting before?
Yeah, I was. I would try to
Try to
hide it, you
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
like eventually, you know, your close friends and the people that you train with, they all see it, and you like, you know, they try their best to help you, you know, and stuff. And you know, eventually I look back on that and I'm like, man, like I'm letting all these people down. I'm letting myself down. I'm wasting my time and wasting my talent. Like, just had to make a choice whether like I'm going to let this thing beat me and like put me in the dirt right where I'm at before I even have any kind of chance of success, or am I going to, you know, beat this shit and, you know, show people what I got.
Right. No, dude, and you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it. I mean, when you reached out to me on Instagram and I was like looking at your videos, like I told you, it's crazy how the universe works, because a couple days before that, I was watching the McGregor documentary, 2
Right.
episodes in, and I'm like, the way he was moving in the beginning of the show, like when he was practicing, I was like, man, this dude kind of moves like that. And that's why I asked you, like, is that like somebody you look up to or like would want to be like in this sport? And you're like, yeah. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, man.
So I might be talking to the next one, dude.
Yeah, dude. He like Conor McGregor kind of like willed his success
Yes.
into existence, man. Like it's
like I told
his
you,
story's
he believed
amazing.
in himself.
Absolutely.
And that, I think that's part of like, you want to become something, you got to believe you could do it.
Right. Beyond reasonable doubt, you have to.
Yeah. And that's where a little bit of that crazy comes in, because,
Yeah.
It is a crazy idea sometimes. It's like, hey, I want to fucking be a professional fighter.
Right.
Huh? Yeah. But, you're doing it. And I mean, that's half of it.
Right.
I know, you were talking about like being homeless before. Like, what was that like, and like how long did that last? A lot of people don't know, man. It's a fucking hard life to be a professional fighter.
Yeah, man. So while I was still relapsing and going through it last June, it was I lost the place that I was staying at, got evicted. I went 10 months. Me and my wife did 10 months homeless, just back and forth. We'd try to get Airbnbs whenever we could. If we couldn't, we stay wherever we could.
Right.
And yeah, man, it was rough. It was crazy. Whoa. It would drive me nuts. It was literally like it'd be days where like all you could do is cry because like I wouldn't even have enough money to like get food in my stomach or get me and her something to eat or anything like that. But never once I like stand on a corner and beg for money, and I'm proud of that most. I don't know why. Sure. I guess because like I didn't like.
You didn't want help. Well, you didn't want to ask for help.
Right, because I know I put myself there. Like I can't throw a fucking pity party because I put myself in the worst case literally possible, and I knew the only person that was going to get me out of it was me. And my wife believed in me and her. She worked her ass off. Like she's the reason why I'm sober today, man. Like 100%. Like if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be here.
Well, but you still doing it for you too. Yeah. because you got to do you first.
Oh yeah,
to
man.
Take care of someone else.
100%.
So, yeah, but her having your back is obviously. I know what that's like. Yeah,
that support group's important. Without those family and friends and to steer you in the right direction, you kind of just a lost ship.
Yeah,
high seas.
Well, I mean, because it looks like you can't like get it back, or you're like, how the fuck am I gonna get out of this? Like you said, dude, you said you were still training while being homeless. I mean, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I contacted Joe Ancona, the local MMA promoter down here.
Shout out.
Yeah, man. And I just told him one day, I was like, dude, is there a fight this weekend? He's like, yeah, I'm in Denham Springs. I was like, can I bring my gloves and shit? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I don't care. Just give me a fight. And I went out there, and for that event, they couldn't give me a fight. Like, nobody would take one with me. It was too late. And I went back to the gym, kept training. They got me a fight August 13th. I fought Dalton LaRue from Gladiators Academy.
Okay.
And great gym, great guy, good fighter. And he was new, 3-0. But I kind of knew. I knew I had more experience than he did, so I was pretty confident. And yeah, man, I got the first round knockout.
Damn.
And put me back on the map.
Right. Were you at this time you were still homeless?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta commend you, man, because somebody that doesn't have a place to live and going through something like that and still training every day and believing in yourself every day, and you fucking did it. To me, that's like a McGregor story right there, if you ask me.
Thank you, man. And I remember thinking about it before I walked out to the cage for the fight. I thought about it. I was like, dude, this fight, it felt good. I was smiling before I walked out. I wasn't nervous like a lot of times, I wasn't nervous. I looked at the camera, I stuck my tongue out, smiled and shit, and then I walked out, and I thought about it. I was like, dude, like, the past 10 months have been so rough and so hard that, like, man, this fight's going to be easy.
Yeah, dude, that's wild.
And, I went out there and I just had a blast. And I think that's when most guys perform at their best, is when you go out there with that mindset. You're not stressed. You're out there ready. Right. You're like, this is your show. You're the rock star. Like,
this is what you've been training for.
Right. Go take the night. Like, nice, you got it.
That's what's up, dude. That's got to be a pretty badass feeling, huh?
Oh, dude, there's no greater drug. No
natural too.
Yeah,
supernatural.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than that. It's one of those things that you look back on when you're older and you're like, I did that.
Yeah,
it's accomplishment.
Nice. Everybody, I think everybody wants to like hold a title, right? Like everybody wants a belt. Everybody wants to be a champ. But what is it? Like, I guess at this point moving forward for you, what's it going to take for you to, like, get to that next level? Because, like, you're training right now. You're getting ready for your first pro fight.
I think making the right moves, working on the things that I know I need to work on as an athlete, like work on all my weaknesses, make good decisions as far as like what I'm preparing to do in camp, who I'm working with, where I'm gonna go with certain things, just stuff like that. It's all about and staying committed overall, trying to have a good quality of life outside of the gym, because that's
balance.
Yeah, you gotta have that balance as a fighter. Yeah, if you just war all the time, like it's eventually you're gonna end up crashing and burning.
Dude, I mean, well, like, what's family life like right now, man? Is like everything good? Like, you're back on your feet? I know you said you work a lot.
Yeah, back on my feet, but I take care of my grandma whenever, as much as I can, and she's not in good health, which it's sad, and I have to get myself ready for the worst, But
and you said she raised you, huh?
Oh yeah, that's my grandparents. That's my inspiration.
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah, she that's the only. But I always tell my friends, I'm like, dude, like that's the first love I ever knew. Like,
that's good, dude.
Like, I'm grandma's boy to the heart.
Because she loves you unconditionally, man. Which is
yeah, man. She used to come to my boxing matches when I was boxing. And she didn't like it. She'd hate it. Yeah. I get punched. She'd be like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Dude, it's all right."
She supported you, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's and some people don't even have that, and they want that, and it's like that's probably one of the things that kind of keeps you going too, right? Like,
oh yeah, man.
Yeah. Because it's like, hey, she believes in me. That's all I fucking need too.
Right. That's why. It's just hard, when you see like somebody that you love get ready, not be here.
Is it old age? Is she has sickness?
Old age. She has a lot of complications, medical problems. She just fell literally like 2 weeks ago. Matter of fact, when we were me and you first started talking, we were I was dealing with that day.
Gotcha.
And yeah, man, she cracked her skull and she's like bleeding a little bit,
dude.
And it's just rough, but
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man. It's life.
Yeah, well, is she's doing all right now? I mean, as far as like,
she's back home. She's doing all right. She gets lightheaded and stuff, and they got her on medication to keep her from having seizures and stuff. Yeah. But she's doing all right.
Did she have those before?
Nah. Just whenever you start having bleeding from the brain, that's something you got to worry about.
That's what I don't think a lot of people realize. So she must have fell like standing up, right?
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan talks about this a lot. It's when fighters get knocked out, they say that y'all have more brain trauma from hitting hitting
them in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because your head whips like whiplash, dude. And it's bad. And
those are all things like to consider. It's like, you're putting yourself in danger.
Right.
Inevitably. And it's like people don't realize like you have a time frame as a fighter or as an athlete. And like you take a lot of shit like that into consideration. You're like, or do you just not think about it? You're like, you know what? I can't think about that.
I definitely take it in consideration, but I think about what can I do
for that not to happen.
Just defense. Like work on defense a lot. I try to work on head movement a lot more. Being more aware. That's the biggest thing with mixed martial arts. Is just being aware of the situation at all times that you're in. Like no matter where it's at, it's you have to be able to make calm of the most extreme.
Have to be able to what?
Make calm of the most extreme situation.
Nice.
Like that's mixed martial arts in a nutshell. Like if you could do that, you could win the game. At least that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But
learning how to control your breathing, learning how to just control being like not afraid.
Right. Because once you start, I think you have to be in the moment so much that like you don't think, you're just there. It's all there already.
It's autopilot.
Right. You're just reacting.
Correct.
It's like the new Dragon Ball Super series on Ultra Instinct. Like you're not even there. You're just reacting on everything.
Oh shit, dude. Well, that's what you were telling me about hitting the speed bag. I was asking you like, what's the purpose of it, and like, you was like, the reaction of.
Yeah. At one point, you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna do it without having to look at the speed bag. Like, I could look at it and just, because it's there, and you're going at the same pace over and over again, so you know where it's gonna be.
The rhythm.
Right when you hit it,
Is it a rhythm for you, or is it like a touch and feel? Yeah, because I know some people, everybody says different things.
So whenever I hit it, I know it goes 1, 2, 3, and then it comes back down my way, and I can hit it. That's how I teach my students how to hit it.
Would you said you had one set up in your grandma's backyard and you used to hit it for like hours and hours?
Yeah, a little cheap one from Academy.
Yeah, and
they have the little $15 speed bags that you could buy to go with, and like I'd go home and I'd hit it for like 4 hours at a time every day and blow it out. Go get another one the next day and then do it again.
Bro, that's intense. When you plan on becoming a champ, like what weight class will you be in? Like what's that considered? Like welterweight? You know, like what? I know there's a ton of them.
I like fighting at 155.
And what weight class is that considered?
That's lightweight in MMA.
Okay.
In boxing, I don't know what the term is for 155.
That big fight they just had. What was the Christian the King and
Ryan Garcia and Tank.
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
King Ryan.
Yeah,
Sorry,
King Ryan G.
Don't want to piss him off. Yeah, is he the same weight as you?
I don't think that was the same weight class. Canelo, I think would be my weight class.
Okay.
I think Canelo might be 165, but I want to say that's middleweight.
Okay.
Super middleweight maybe for boxing.
Right.
I don't know what that'd be, but for MMA it'd be lightweight for sure.
But your goal is to go after UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UFC or one championship's pretty good too.
Okay. Well, I've been seeing like also like the bare knuckle shit's been getting pretty big, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, man, I like them a lot. I wouldn't. It's something that I feel like you'd probably want to do at the later part of your career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back burner.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be like the last dude that just fought and broke his tooth in half, like Luke Rockhold. Like he got punched in one of his front teeth just got cracked right in half. I was like,
damn, dude.
Yeah.
I'd always be afraid to get my nose broken or my teeth.
I broke my nose, but like breaking a tooth, dog.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, breaking a tooth, can't smile the same ever again unless you get that shit like replaced.
Yeah, right.
Like that's rough.
Well, and that's what I was gonna ask you. That was like leading up to my next question. The goal is to like become a champ, make some money. Like, what do you want to do with that? Like, what's like your, 30 years old now? Where do you see yourself like capping off in that business?
Probably hang the gloves up around 36, 37. I want to see how far I could get with it by then. Hopefully I have enough to give me a nice little house for me and my wife and the kids. And, yeah.
How many kids do y'all have?
2.
Nice. So you're doing all this with a full family, man, and you.
Yeah.
It's so obviously your wife is obviously got to be like your biggest cheerleader because like she believes in you.
Oh yeah, man, she goes hard in the yard.
It's a good That's a good feeling because I mean, like you said, outside it's a lonely sport.
Yeah, man, and it's hard to find somebody that'll stick with you when you tell them that your goal, your dream in life is to be a champion in fighting in combat sports. It's hard to. Like you said, to have the majority of people that just they're dream killers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they have the dream chasers, and that's us.
Well, the average person, there's probably a ton of people out there that wish they could box or be MMA, but they're just too fucking lazy.
Right.
Or they don't believe in themselves, or I can't do that.
Or they don't want to work for it.
Yeah, everybody wants the instant gratification, man. I mean, when I told you I was getting addicted to the jiu-jitsu, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to earn my 4 stripes, then my blue belt, 4 stripes, but belt. And then I thought about like, I would want to compete at some point in my life, but I know if I try to go that route, it's going to be a fucking long road, which I'm okay with. Like I like putting in the work. I mean, it's what I live for. So
dude, it's a journey that you're like, it's always going to give back and you're never going to regret it.
No.
Like I would definitely I'd encourage you could start competing after you get your first stripe as a white belt.
Yeah.
You could do novice tournaments and go
test about that. I think like, I'm 37 now. The next part of my life is probably going to be like less bodybuilding, more like staying like aesthetic a little bit, but jiu-jitsu, man. I just feel like it made me, as I was, building the studio, trying to I went through some things. It just helped me like center myself.
Yeah, I was about to say it gives you a sound mind.
Yeah, like that was a part of my life that I feel like I need that now because when I wrestled in high school, it taught me how to like be on time, discipline. Like,
Yeah.
you just have this mentality like you felt like other people were weak.
Right. You held yourself to a higher purpose,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and
It's makes you think about this saying, like the difference between like belief and a conviction. It's like belief is something that you hold, but a conviction is something that holds you, you know.
Yeah.
And living like when you wrestle and stuff, like I feel like you get instilled with that kind of mentality at an early age.
Yeah.
And like from jump, it changes you. Like you have to get up early and like go run. You have to go to practice. You have to get good grades. Like
Yeah, you had to do all of it.
right,
You
like
can't wrestle
all that
if you
shit
have
matters.
yeah.
Right.
And most
that was the only reason why I got good grades in high school.
Dude.
My coach was like, "Look, dude, if you don't hold the C average, like you can't wrestle." And I was like, "Fuck."
I think that was the only reason I even stayed in school, because I started cutting hair at such an early age that I was like, okay, I just want to wrestle and cut hair. And, but I had to at least make C's and D's.
Right.
And, I made a few B's, maybe one A, I don't know. But that's really what I lived for. And I feel like now I kind of found like that new purpose later in life with like the jiu-jitsu, you know.
Yeah,
but
man,
like
it wakes you up.
Yeah.
It's
Dude.
like it brings it all back to you. It's like, dude, this is just like wrestling.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more savage.
Yeah. Well, I literally feel like everybody tells me, like, with your wrestling background, like, you know, you'll be okay. And I was like, dude, I feel okay. I just can't wait to learn it.
Right.
Because then I started feeling like I think I could be pretty fucking good.
Right, man.
Because, like, you know, and that's not me being cocky. That's me being, hey, I put in the work for wrestling for years.
Right. You can carry that same mentality.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm not learning it as fast, but it's because I forget shit quick. I mean, I got a lot of things going on. But I know it. I started realizing, you know, repetitiously what to do, what not to do.
Right.
And I'm excited to keep going with that and see. But it's kind of like my wrestling coach, Dean, always said when he would make us run for cross country. Fucking hated cross country, but you had to do it to prepare for wrestling practice.
Right.
Because once you started wrestling practice, you were not in shape.
Right.
Even though you just spent the last 2 months running miles a day for cross country.
Right.
He's like, you know, your body is always going to like want to give up. Because, like, it's, you know, your mentality. But, you know, physically you can keep going. So you have to, like, dig in deep. And, like, you know, you could probably go another 5 miles.
Right.
You just feel like you can't because you're just used to quitting.
Right.
And, like, he taught us how to, like, break past that, like, threshold of, like, going beyond. Kind of like a
barriers,
David Goggins.
dude.
Yeah, like, way before David Goggins ever came out. You know, it's like, you know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I don't even know. I can't remember.
It's like I think Friedrich Nietzsche said it. It's if you stare long enough into the abyss stares back into you. It's like once you go past that, like, that certain part in your brain that tells you you can't do it, and you get through that threshold that, like, you know, that you hit, you unlock a certain part of you that, like, you didn't know even existed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the best feeling in the world.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Like, you get through a hard workout or a rough practice or a rough day at jiu-jitsu, and, like, you roll with somebody that's a killer, and, like, y'all both have a great match, and, like, you end up catching him or something like that, or you have a fight and you end up getting him, and it's a tough fight. Like, I've had plenty of those. Yeah. Where, like, I thought it was my ass, and then somehow, like, I just bite down on my mouthpiece and pull through it, and, like, you get that win. It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I really hope your next fight is it a title belt, or is it just like a pro fight to start building up?
Debut.
Yeah. How many do you have to win to get to, like, champ? Like, is it like you got to run through like 5 guys, or like how does that go?
There's ways to go about it. I think you could do it by run through an X amount of guys, or you fight the baddest dudes they got in the weight class that are making the biggest waves, and, like, prove yourself, you know, to get it done in 3 fights, and then be like, dude, I want that belt.
You said it's September 8th? No.
September 8th or 9th. I got to double check.
Yeah, I was about to say September 5th is my birthday. I'm going to try to go to that, dude. If I'm available, man, I would love to come support you. I really love what you're doing. I'm really grateful that you reached out to me because, like I told you, I was like, I don't know this guy. And like, you know, you were saying like, hey, I feel like, you know, your podcast, like, I'm really enjoying it. And you were comparing it to JRE, which to me, that's like, I feel like I'm fucking making it now because somebody recognizes like what we're trying to do. And that made me feel good, dude. So I'm definitely here to support you in any way I can. How can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. Facebook, and they're both easy. Coty Thunder.
Gotcha.
COTY.
Yeah.
Thunder. Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude. We'll have you after your fight. We'll have you come back and hopefully you get that win, bro. Just got it. Like, do you go in there thinking like, do you doubt or do you just go, I'm gonna fucking win? Like, what do you do?
Oh, dude, I say it out loud months before.
Yeah,
like
manifest.
Yeah, like I remember when I won the BFC lightweight title. I told my grandma, she was in the hospital, and that's what I think that drove me to do it even more.
Yeah.
It was like she fell that time and she was hurting and stuff, and she was like, "Don't worry about me." She's like, "Quit thinking about me." I was like, "I'm gonna be all right." I was like, "I promise you." It's like, "I'm gonna win that belt." It's like, I'm gonna be a champion." And sure as shit, I show her the belt the next day in the hospital, and like she looked at me, smiled, and she's like, "It's so heavy." I was like, "Yeah."
That's awesome, dude. I'm very happy for you. I'm really grateful that we met finally, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to. I'll do whatever I can to like try to promote you, push you out there. If you guys like this episode, share it with your friends. There's a subscribe button at the bottom. Coty, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. And
thank you, man.
Good luck to you in your future fights, and have you on next time.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, dude. Thank you.